Pisces, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-November 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Pisces collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Pisces gang in mid-November? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Pisces mid-November. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for my good friends? Let's get this card out. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Cool. Yeah, I mean, very common to see in the water sign readings. I saw a very similar one in the Cancer reading. This is good for future focus, for future planning, like planning your moves ahead. But it is a little imaginative, so to speak, which again, that's something that shows up in water sign readings all the time. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card. And I will say this is a very common theme for the Pisces collective with this card. So we see the little clown ballerina, the one that's up there on the tightrope. I don't think they're two separate people. I always say I think it's one person, this one, daydreaming about doing that. So again, great for future focus, great for future planning, like what's to come, what's ahead, how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that. So there's a great energy around planning, but at the same time, it is very Four of Cups like. And again, as a Pisces rising myself, I know that we are very cerebral individuals. We have a very rich inner world, and that's what this card is. So again, whether it's a little bit of daydreaming, a little bit of overthinking, a little bit of fantasizing, no big deal. As long as it's not affecting other areas of your life, I think it's totally cool. Now, the good thing about this energy also is the creativity. And if there's any sign that needs to express energy or get that energy out in one way or another, it's Pisces. Remember, the rich inner world needs to be expressed out into the material one way or another. So I'm not saying that you all have to be a professional artist, but there needs to be some release of energy because it could be building up within you when this card is here. So we're going to let her chill out right there. She could keep having her little daydream about walking the tightrope. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time. And yeah, while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was some funkiness that showed up in last week's reading. It was titled Beware This Person. And there was potentially a very specific individual that Spirit was trying to highlight and say, hey, Pisces, keep an eye on this one. The energy felt slippery to me. Like, to me, it's like an energy that comes and goes. And I don't know, it was just very slippery. That's the best way I could describe it. You could watch that after this one if you want. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Pisces. What do we got in mid-November? What do we got? Thank you. Okay, 2 of Wands. It's very observant. Okay, we're going to look into this. I like the 2 of Wands. I think it's a pretty good card to start off a reading. It does tie into that future focus vibe I was speaking about as well. So it tracks world. Okay. Let's get one more. That's powerful. It's very powerful energy. It's a culmination of some sort. Good. Okay. I mean, this energy to me feels good. I'll say that, Pisces, but there's also like this underlying tone I'm getting where I'm like a little unsure about it. For some reason, we got the 6 of Swords on the back end and we have the 10 of Pentacles as a bonus, which at face value, pretty good cards, right? But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements. I feel like it's very important to tell us how the energy is moving or the areas of life that could be affected. And we have fire, Major Arcana, which is multiple elements, And then we have air, a little bit of earth in the bonus as well. But this is what I'm paying attention to the most. Now, the fire, that's the realm of action with this Two of Wands. It's the actions we take, it's the actions others take. It's the realm of our internal combustion engine, as I like to say, our motivation, our vitality, our get up and go. So generally, I like to see fire. Now, I'm a little biased. I have some fire placements too. So this to me is cool. Like, but for some people, fire can be a little too unpredictable. So when I have this Two of Wands, and we'll get into all those details, just know fire energy, it could take a quick left on you sometimes. In the center with the world, big fixed energy. We'll look at that in a moment. And right here on the back end, we have the air, the realm of the logic, the mind, the thought process, the intelligence. Not as creative as water energy, but it's super intelligent and it seeks clarity. That's what I like about swords. Very active mindset. The downside to swords is sometimes it could be a little detached. Sometimes it could be a little cold, the way it presents itself. So we want to look at it further. And then, yeah, bonus shout out to the earth that seems to ground everything down on the back end with the work, the money, the abundance. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Two of Wands. And as you can see here, we have this little individual. He's standing in front of two wands. As with all twos, it can represent partnerships, decisions, choices, a make or break point. Some of you might be at a crossroads. Doesn't necessarily have to be that, though. It's usually a fresh, new type of energy, which I really like with the Two of Wands. The biggest underlying theme I always think of with the Two of Wands is strategy and observance, because this person noticed they're looking at the globe. So to me, it's like either there's something I'm paying very close attention to before I decide to act, or it's like I'm planning everything out step by step by step. It's super meticulous. So whether you got something in the works and you're planning something, maybe it's someone around you, they got a little roadmap, a little plan going here. That could all be the case. Could there be something that spirit wants you to just keep a very close eye on it? With the reading we had last week, I would say for sure. Now, the downside to the Two of Wands is sometimes it could be very indecisive, where it's like, oh, I don't know which road, I don't know which one to go down. So watch out for feeling stuck or feeling stuck at some sort of crossroads or point. But we're gonna just keep it moving now into the middle as we get this Two of Wands back where it belongs. We have the World, very powerful card. Whereas the Fool card is the first of the major arcana, this is the last. So when I see it, sure, can it represent chapters closing? Absolutely. Can it represent endings? Absolutely. But I don't see this as like a Ten of Swords ending. It doesn't have to be filled with pain and betrayal and all that. To me, this is just an energy that culminates, where it's like, okay, I'm looking towards the ending, especially with the Two of Wands. Like, how is it going to turn out if I do this? How will it turn out if I do that? There's someone that's being very considerate about the long game when I see this card. So again, whether there is something that naturally comes to, a crescendo, or whether it's something that is really reaching some sort of karmic tipping point, this card could absolutely represent it. Now, there's other things aside from endings, chapters, and change. This is a very spiritual card. It's extremely karmic in nature, so it can speak about the cycles of life, cycles that we've gone through. So we want to look at that further. This could be a big key to the reading itself. Now, moving to the back end as we put the world back down, this culmination. Yeah, this feels like the long game. Someone's playing the long game. Now, here on the back end, we have the Six of Swords. Usually very good. This is a card of coming out of choppy waters into calm, things getting better, action being taken. So, like, we have the planning, we have the long term thinking, and then we have the action coming in on the back end, which is really good. Now, there could be various situations where it's good to go step by step and plan it meticulously, or at least someone thinks that way with this card. This card could also represent travel, distance. Maybe you're taking a trip. Now, if that's not the case, there is a downside to this card as well. Sometimes this can be a little flaky. This card can, run away from things, or it's an energy where it's supposed to be doing this, but it doesn't do it. It's not the most responsible energy, so we do want to keep a look at it, and keep an eye on it. Just like with this guy in the front, we'll keep an eye on this. Sometimes the Six of Swords can represent something coming back around as well, especially next to a card like the World. So, like, this is an energy where like cycles could swing back, repeat, return. Back end for your bonus, we do have the Ten of Pentacles, wins, victories, blessings, expansion, abundance. Need I say more? It's one of the best cards in the deck. And tens also represent endings, but this is a happy ending. So I'm leaning more optimistic with the reading this week, but there are still some things that are poking out in the energy. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Pisces. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for Pisces, please? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Two of Wands, see what that has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Pisces, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Two of Wands. Why is it here? Okay. Very cautious energy here. So we're going to split this in two ways. Either one, Spirit wants you to be very cautious about something. Don't rush, don't go headlong into it. Like, be very meticulous and planned out. Or somebody is. Like, if it's not you, like, because with the Fool, and funny I mentioned the Fool when I was describing this. We got the first, we got the last. Remember, I was saying someone planning for the long game. Someone could be planning big picture, not just like today or tomorrow. That's just how it feels to me. Someone's playing the long game, planning the long game. Now, the Fool, if it was in the upright, I'd be like, okay, this is an energy. It's not really thinking. It's not really planning. It's just choosing. It's going. It's very spontaneous. So when I see it in reverse, it's like, whoa, 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 hold your horses. There's no rush here. So I'm absolutely getting this very heavy strategic energy here where it's not planning for the short term. It's thinking big picture. That's just how it's showing up to me. So we'll see how it plays as we move throughout the rest of the reading. Nothing wrong with that. Could it be advice for you? Where Spirit's like, all right, well, maybe bust out a notepad and, make a written plan. Could this be someone else? Absolutely. So let's just see Aries energy right here with the Fool in reverse. And it can be a big caution. Like, don't rush into something. Think big picture. Think big picture. Let's go in on the world. It's very insistent. And for a lot of you, this could be something that hasn't even come up yet. But the energy that's showing up is just super insistent about this. It's like showing up all over the place with the strategy. So let's go in on the world. See what that has. Thank you. But why keep it quiet? But why keep it quiet? So we have the Page of Cups in reverse. It's like, I'm planning something, but I'm not telling you about it. Or, yeah, no, I know what I want. I know what I want from this, but I'm not going to say nothing about it. That is really peculiar. Now, again, we'll split it in two different ways. For some of you, this could be Spirit saying, like, okay, plan first, act later. Don't say anything about it now. But at the same time, I get somebody, I hate to sound like an alarmist, but it's like someone making secret plans, or someone has a vision for how something's going to go or how they envision it. And it's like, I'm not cluing the other person in, which, no comment on that, no judgment, but that's just how it feels. Page of Cups is a Pisces power card, usually in the upright, is very expressive, speaking, talking, sharing, super emotional. In reverse, underneath the world, it's like, I'm not saying nothing, not saying nothing about it. So could this be a hidden hope or dream? Could this be a hidden aspiration where it's like, oh, I don't want to share it because I don't want them to judge me? Like, it could be something like that. It doesn't always have to be something bad. It doesn't always have to be something scary. To me, it could just be someone that's a little bashful to share it, or it's like, I don't know how they'll take it if I tell them this is my plan. It's just so very particular here, Pisces. Um, I feel like I'm doing a personal again. Let's just keep moving. We're gonna go in on the Six of Swords. We'll see what the action has. I don't think there's a need to keep it quiet. That's how it feels to me. But hey, no judgment, right? Let's see what the Six of Swords has. It's just all over the place this week. There's a good result. There's definitely a good result. So, I mean, we have the Four of Wands, the 1111 card in the upright. Beautiful. Big cards of home, family, especially here on the back end right next to the bonus. I love the Four of Wands. It's celebratory, it's happy. So, could this be a win, victory, blessing? Absolutely. When the action is taken, you will be happy about it. That's just how it may be slow. To me, it's like the energy feels slow to get off the ground, but the big picture looks fantastic to me. That's how it feels. So anything long term thinking is where we want to be, is where we want to look. So yeah, aside from omens, signs, synchronicities, for a lot of you, you could be receiving them extra in this time. So keep your eyes out for stuff like that. I know a lot of Pisces get them all the time anyway, but they might be cranked up when I see this under the Six of Swords, because it's like spirits aren't sending things at you, sending things at you. But this is a beautiful result, a big, big blessing, massive blessing right here on the back end. But it's like, all right, well, how much time is it going to take? That's the question from here to there. But I like where it's going for the most part. It just takes a long time to get there. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So a lot of hyper specific stuff was coming out this week. So again, you just take it however it hits. But if you kindly look in the box, there is a lot of strategy and planning going on. So whether that's advice from spirit or something you're doing or something someone else is doing, or multiple, who knows? I mean, two of wands with the Fool in reverse, be cautious. Anything you're doing or planning on, think big picture. Don't just think right now. Think a few steps ahead, like you're playing chess. That's how this feels to me in the front. So there is a lot of strategy and planning. Either that or someone is being hyper cautious about it. Moving to the middle, we have the World with the Page of Cups in reverse. I'm keeping it very quiet for some reason. So I do have plans. I do know what I want. I do know what way I want this to go, but I'm not going to bother anyone about it. I'm not going to speak about it. So whether that is being shy and bashful and not wanting to be judged, or maybe there's a reason for the silence or keeping this plan hush hush. Moving to the back end, we do have the Six of Swords with the Four of Wands in the upright, the 11-11 card. Beautiful, celebratory, tons of blessings here. So the end result is favorable. The end result is good. Just again, watch for the signs and synchronicities from spirit. It feels like it might take a while for the action to kick in, but when it does, you'll be happy. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got for Pisces? Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going. The deck is like trying to fly out of my hands here. The cards are a mess. What do we have in the shadows for Pisces? That was just the insistent energy I was getting in the main part of the reading felt different, way different than what I usually get for Pisces. Temperance, big card of patience, Saggy energy, right? I mean, I know we're coming up on Sagittarius season. If you're connected to one, if you have those placements, or maybe there is something about Saggy time frame that's showing up here when we see Temperance. Now, the beautiful thing about Temperance, it has Archangel Michael in it, super protective, tons of spiritual protection. I love this card for that. But it's a card of patience, right? It's a card of spirit saying, take a breath, calm down. Things are working even if they don't seem like it, especially with this in the shadows. You know, sometimes most is happening behind the scenes when it seems like nothing is happening. And that's how this is feeling to me in the positive sense. Now, in the challenging sense, temperance could be you having a lack of patience. Maybe there's certain things where it's like, yeah, no, I don't want to wait. Don't want to wait. Don't have the patience for it. Might be a little antsy about things. But overall, I feel like temperance is a beautiful card, whether we're looking at the time period or the protection or the advice. So we're just going to leave it at that, Pisces. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. You'll see my digital calendar is open for the month of November. They're filling up pretty quick, so if you'd like to have a chat, come over and see me. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of a lovely deck. It's fairly new. It's called Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. It has a whole bunch of fluffy critters. It's really adorable. I think everyone would like it. So if you like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, since it is November, what are you most grateful for right now? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.